Hey guys, well, my brain's a little better today. I thought I would do a video. I've been sad I haven't even been able to really do a video or read and stuff as much as I was. But I wanted to do a video about acceptance. It's the biggest key to getting through all of this horrific hell. It really is. The longer I was in it, and whenever I first joined the groups, I was always told the keys to getting through this is acceptance and distraction. And the longer I was in it, I found it to be very, very true. And I'm telling y'all the same thing I was taught. And I promise this will help you to get through all of this. Acceptance does not mean that your symptoms are going to leave, or that you're happy that you're in this or anything. Acceptance is where we accept, okay, this is what I have to go through. I have no choice. There's nothing I could take to get me out of it. There's nobody I can call to get me out of it. It's something I have no choice but to go through until it's over. And the more you fight this and the more you focus on it, I'm telling y'all, you will get worse. Those symptoms will ramp up even worse. Because whenever I first was thrown into all this, I would fight my symptoms. I would focus on them. And anything that got my blood pressure up at all or my heart rate up at all ramped them hundreds of symptoms worse on me. Even worse than they already were. So I had no choice but accept it. That, okay, I've got no choice to go through this. Because I couldn't risk being given anything to make me worse. And one of the things that helped me with acceptance was, even before this, I haven't been able to take psych drugs because they make me crazy, severely suicidal crazy. Very first day I tried one. So, for one, I knew I had to act normal. I couldn't freak the hell out in front of nobody. I couldn't scream like I wanted to. I couldn't. I had to contain every bit of that torture and act normal in front of people. Because if I had been put into one of them psych wards, I would have been I wouldn't have made it out of here. I'm telling you, I wouldn't have. The way them medications do me, it would have took me out, and that's scary. And before, I was sick on benzos. I had thrown myself into a cold turkey type withdrawal. None of the doctors believed me, looked at me like I was crazy or some drug addict, So after my cold turkey, I knew I couldn't trust them, that they didn't believe none of this. So, what was the point of me going to an ER? For one, they weren't going to believe me. For two, all they were going to do is give you more medicine. And that can make you 1,000,000 times worse during this, too. Especially if they give you a benzo. And what's scary is a lot of members in these groups, I've been in them for a couple years and I've seen it happen. Where they'll tell them not to give them a benzo and they do it anyway. Which can make the, symptoms 1,000,000 times worse and possibly kindle somebody. Which I experienced that with the alcohol. I can only imagine what one benzo would have done to me. The way that alcohol reaction. I look back and I don't know how I survived it. It was so severe. So. Words will never, ever, ever describe it at all, what it did to me. And how long it set me back. But you've got to learn acceptance. I'm telling y'all, the more you fight this and you focus on it, the worse it's gonna get. I promise you. And the way I looked at it was, take a traffic jam, for instance. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go nowhere. There's no way out of it. You have two options. You can either freak the hell out while you're waiting and make yourself even worse, or you can sit back, cut the radio on, and be like, okay, I'm just going to distract until this is over. This is kind of the same thing, but this is much more of a horrific. But And I focused on positive stories, people who've been through this and who have healed, so that I knew, I would heal too. And I did not allow myself to read scary stories, or years off, and or believe it was permanent or any of that. And another thing I had to do that kept me going is I kept rationalizing. I was like, okay, Jennifer, you didn't have these hundreds of symptoms until you cold turkey. You did not have them. This is coming, all that you're feeling right now is coming from you coming off that medication. Is your body lying to you while it's healing, and it's going to end one day. It's not permanent. And I had to tell myself that 1,000,000 times a day. And distract. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I had to learn the split second my eyes popped open. It was horrific. Waking up still is horrific. But my eyes went straight on to reading, which I was so bad off, y'all. I couldn't do simple things. I couldn't go places. The only distraction I had through this was my laptop. My brain wouldn't allow me to play games or learn games. So my distraction was reading and writing. And I'm going to tell y'all, for the first 15 months, reading and writing for me, people don't have a clue how hard it was for me to read and write. But I forced all my little brain power into reading and writing in the groups and helping others every day, to keep my mind away from just sitting there and thinking, oh my God, I feel like I'm dying right now. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm on LSD right now, and all the horrible things. Distraction kept my mind from focusing on all that. And I didn't suffer no less for it. Like, I'm telling you, it was horrific. But there was no way out of it, It was either I could sit there and make myself worse by freaking out and focusing on it and looking for ways out, or I could just stay calm as I could, stay distracted, and talk to myself through it all day long. And that's what I did. And I had to train my brain, because I'm telling you, before this, I was the most negative person you could have ever met. I would have never thought I could have done this at all. I would have been one of those saying, no, there's no way I can do this. And and that's another thing. Me deciding to distract by helping people every day took my mind off of my own suffering. Plus, it allowed me to say positive things every day, like you're healing, you're going to get better, all them positive things. So it helped my brain a lot, and gave me a reason to say positive things, even though I didn't believe half the shit. Like, I felt so permanently damaged. I mean, I couldn't read right. I couldn't, process words people were saying to me, or watch TV my first 14 months, because my brain didn't remember what I just watched. I swear to God, and I'm not exaggerating when I say any of this at all, and I wish I was, but I could not remember the last 5 minutes or the next minute. I couldn't remember. I was stuck in whatever second of time I was in. Like, it was horrific. Totally horrific. And brain damage. And thank God I'm getting better. It's just taking a long time, but I'm getting there. And I still have a long ways to go, but I'm proof that we can heal. If I could get through all them hundreds of symptoms and the brain damage and stuff that a lot of people never have to have, like, anybody can get through this. But, learn to accept this the best that you can. Especially if you've had tests already ran that show normal. Say, okay, this has got to be withdrawal. I've had this test before. I've been to the doctor 1,000,000 times. you know, and nothing showing up, it's withdrawal, you know. Don't believe the lies that your brain will tell you, and stay away from Google at all costs, because I'm telling y'all, Googling will only feed that fear even worse. And a lot of us will look like hypochondriacs coming off of benzos due to the insane, horrific things our body does and feels coming off this stuff. But I can promise you it's withdrawal. I know it'll be hard as hell to believe it, but I can promise you, this horrific shit that you're feeling, especially if you didn't have it before you come off or took a benzo, and your tests are showing normal, it's withdrawal. I can promise you. So, learn acceptance, guys, and learn to stay distracted through this entire thing the best that you can. And try to teach your brain to say positive affirmations, like, and you don't even have to believe them, just try to make yourself say these things. I'm healing. This is not permanent. I'm not permanently damaged. I'm healing right now. This is withdrawal. I got through this yesterday. I didn't die, even though I felt like I was going to, and I could get through today too. And those things are going to help you get through this. I love you guys, and y'all stay strong.